Today's video we're going to show you how to fix a squeaking door. So what we're going to show you today is a quick fix on how to get this sorted, and it's very easy. Any DIY enthusiast or anyone actually in the house can sort this, because this fix is so easy to sort out. Let's get into it. Now the first thing we want is we need to be able to see the hinge, and we need to find out what is the hinge that's affected. So what we're going to do is open and close the door. There it is. So you find the affected area. Now the easiest fix, and this is probably going to solve 70% of the issues with squeaky doors, is WD-40. Now we all know about WD-40, great stuff. It's a lubricant and it's designed to grease up affected areas that are affected by rust or dirt or residue. So the first thing I'm going to do is aim for the inside of the hinge. Got to get the inside, aim for that nozzle and spray it through there. You can actually see some dirt residue coming down the door frame there. So have a cloth, get that, wipe that off, clean it off. But we can already see that there's obviously something in there. Another one, I'm just going to do them all. Whilst we're here, get that one. It's obviously a lot of dirt behind the knuckle there. Now once that WD is in place, you want to open and close the door. You want to work it in. So what we're doing is working that WD-40 into the joints, working it into the mechanism, working it into that hinge, making sure that grease finds its way. Now I did have a squeaky door, that's done it. So that, like I said, is going to solve 70% of issues. There's no squeaks, nothing left. So that is probably going to be the #1 fix. But if that doesn't work, and you need to know this just in case you have doors in the future, the next thing we need to do is close your door, go to the other side, and what you need to find is the hinge. And now this is where the hinge pin is placed. This is what holds the two hinges together, and what you might find is this is going to collect a lot of dirt, a lot of grime, and it can sometimes get rusty. So what we need to do is get this pin out of the hinge. So I've got a small screwdriver, gently tap the bottom, and can you see that pin's coming up? You want to get it fully out, you want to make sure it's out fully. That's it. There we have it. So there is the hinge pin. Now what we want to do is clean this pin up. Now this is going to cause a few issues. This might have a bit of rust, it might have a bit of an old paint. Basically it's going to stop the door from opening properly. So I'm going to put a bit of WD-40 on the rag, spray it on there. I'm going to douse that with that WD-40, get that lubricant on there, make sure it's all greased up. It's going to do that, make sure there's no rust. Now that actually doesn't look too bad. Like I said, the WD-40 did fix this door hinge, but what I'm also going to do is put a bit down there as well. And then we're going to put that pin back into place, slide to the top there, gently tap it down. That's that pin back in place. Test that door again. Now we know it's not squeaking. We need to make sure it's aligned properly and that hinge is connected nicely. So now sometimes you might notice that when you take the hinge pins out, they might be a bit bent or they're not perfectly straight. That is when you need to replace the hinge pins. So at that point, you need to check whether they're completely straight, completely intact, there's no rust, there's no paint on there. Sometimes if you're painting doors, paint can get inside the hinge. So you've got to check the hinge pins, make sure they're in the top, tip-top condition. If they're not, you can get replacement hinge pins online. Very easy to find, and again, as you'll see, very easy to replace. Now one last thing you might want to check, if that doesn't work, sometimes you might find that the hinges and the screws connecting the hinge to the door can be loose. Now this can also create a bit of a squeaking sound in itself, so what you might want to do is just tighten up them hinges. Make sure if there's any loose screws, you get them nice and tight. That way there's no misalignment, the hinges are nicely fixed to the door and the door's not rattling against itself. That can also be an issue, so we're going to tighten up all these screws, make sure they're nice and tight. There's actually a few loose ones to be fair, so It's not bad practice. The final thing, there might be a bit of hinge misalignment. Now, if that is the case, you might just need to replace the hinge completely. But again, it's not the end of the world because you've got everything notched out, it's all chiseled out, ready to go. Just make sure you get the same size hinge what you had before. That's it. There's 4 things you need to check for a squeaky door. And that's basically, like I said, 70% of it is going to be cured with WD-40. Hinge pins are going to cover the 90%, and the rest of the 100 is either going to be replacement hinge pin or tightening up them screws. We fixed this door, we could creep around in the morning without anyone waking up. Now click here if you want to figure out how to sort out this shower. We're in the bathroom right now. Re-silicone it completely so you get a tip-top job and there's no leaky showers. Thanks a lot. Subscribe here. Cheers.